Good morning, good afternoon again. I am Mevlüt Tuna from FND. Today we are going to present Tilos in linear projects for progressing and monitoring the progress. As you may be familiar with the Tilos system, it is time location system for highway, road, railway, pipeline, tunnel and other civil engineering projects. And this is our agenda. When you have the questions, please type in questions part, and we will be looking to differences between Gantt chart and time location charts, creating and displaying the baseline, progress methods, main methods, and entering the progress, entering micro progress, and monitoring our crew progress and getting your questions and answers. We will present this in 40 minutes maximum. As you may know that Tilos is a software used by largest construction companies. If your company already using, you can contact with your teams how they are using. If you are interested in your industry projects, we can give you samples from your industry projects as well in the next webinars. Linear project characteristics, and when we look at our linear project, our activities are in repetition. So we are managing these things in Microsoft project or in Primavera or in Asta Power project with too many activities. In Tilos, we have visibility to see the site and supporting our activities with the site information. And as we can control easily, this will affect to see the mistakes, logical mistakes in the project, if there is, and reducing the project duration, and it will affect your overall project cost in a quick way. For example, this is a 100-kilometer project. Tilos can be defined even for the 100-meter projects or 1,000-kilometer projects. So here we are seeing the distance on the top, and as a vertical we have the time. In the middle area we call it working area, and these areas, risky areas, which we don't have access in this case. When we create our activities, we can see simply the clashes in 2D format, and behind the system there is the scheduling, and when we reschedule the project we can keep the logics, and we will know when exactly need to start the works. This is at the planning stage, of course, and we can get the productivity rates for different areas. As we see here, it has the different productivity rates, so it affects the speed of the work, and it is giving us, for example, on Gantt chart, how it is going to show. There is lag for the second task, this red task, but there is no problem, it seems here. When we are looking at our schedule, actually there is a problem, because even it is starting a little bit later than the predecessor, and we are seeing that they are going to clash on the site because of the speed of the works. So we can keep between the tasks, we can keep the distance. So as we see here, when there is any changes for the predecessor task, so it will always keep the logic and it will keep the distance here. And the structural works and all the shapes has a meaning in Tilos. We have the lines, but structural works at the one location, for it can be subpass, it can be overpass. In the other industries it can be station works, and we can show them as a rectangle here as well. And the Tilos also provides Gantt chart, and if you are more interested for some case, for example for procurement works and for other works, you may be interested to use the Gantt chart. It is integrated with time distance, so whatever you create here, if you give the distance values, it is already created there. We can monitor here critical path as well, but if you are using the Primavera or Microsoft project or other systems for project scheduling for the critical path analysis, you can continue on this. In Tilos you can use for the linear parts. So what we are going to do, get the progress. We will create the baselines. In the system we can create unlimited baselines. Progress reporting, we have the progress types, progress methods it is called in the system. Vertical we set time, horizontal there is the distance. And in the middle area the works, for example this work indicates that starting at 3000 meter in the plan and it is going to complete it at the 0 meter. To creating a core activity, we are providing the productivity rates into system. We can import the productivity rates for distance base. We can import just from the Excel if you have the values, and the system reads the rates and giving the duration calculation. So it is giving as a curve in the system. I can show later on. Here, this is the one linear task. The rate speed is always the same on the task. And we see that blue line, this indicates the data date. So I am on this date, like in Primavera data date, and when I put the progress, let's say that we are going to put progress starting from 3000 till the 2000. So when there is progress, we also able to see the direction from which side to which side we progressed, we work. So this is good for claiming works as well. If you don't have access to site, you can exactly claim why and where you started the works, where you completed. It is all recording in the systems. Later you can find these records in the system for claiming purposes. And when there is new data date for the second progress entry, now data date it is just moved for the next week, and we can see here for the progress it is splitting the task, so it will allow you to work with this task. For each term you are able to put actual start and actual finish. So this is also advantage in the system. Structural works can have the progress based on the percentage, so we know the exact location. We don't need to say from which area to which area. We can simply put that percentage for the structural works. This is good for procurement works. This is good for station works, all structural works here. So we can get the values like schedule performance index, cost performance index on the tables, which we have similar to Excel tables. And here at the background, when we activate the baseline, when we display the baseline, at the background, blue color, it is the baseline, and this part, it is the remaining part. Remaining part can be replanned and there can be calculated based on the existing progress. We can have simulation when the activity is going to complete. So we can have a simulation which I am going to show on the system directly. Okay, and from here we can exactly get the values in the annotations. These annotations are dynamic, so it is just reading the values from the task. So when the planned expected end date is changed, it will directly changing. You don't need to update these annotations manually. It will be automatically updating into system. Progress figures can be displayed on Gantt chart or Excel based tables. For project controlling in the complex projects with the 1000 activities in Primavera and bringing here and getting with too many activities in Tilos, we can control the progress using the Excel sheets. We can collect the progress for the activity groups. For example, here clearing and grouping activity group. We can collect from which date to which date, which we are able to do in other CPM solutions as well. But here we are recording also from where to where. So these are coming from the Excel easily. There is the unique ID, of course. We can put more comments from the site, which I am going to show in a moment as well. And when we imported these values into system, how it is getting? this part, clearing and grouping up part, it is giving us information. Black highlighted parts, it means that the works are completed at this area. Later when I will show in the system, when we activate the baseline, we will see at the background baseline. For example, this task will be later than the plan because baseline will go continuously here. So even this view, it is good for claiming purposes. And you are on this data date, the works are completed, but they are completed after the planned date. So there is a delay here. On the left part, we call it as a dashboard, and it is simply giving you information like what was the planned percentage, in this case 34%, what is the actual percent. So this is reading the values from this activity progress. When you have the new progress, it is updated as well. And for the quantities, whatever field we would like for progressing, we can put here to display. And another type of work, we can show here grading. For example, works are completed. This is good for monitoring the crease. And from here, we can reach the S-curves. We can get S-curves based on time and the actual progress. This red one, it is the planned progress, and the green one, it is the actual progress. This can be based on duration and based on the cost, based on resource as well. So the most interesting part in this case, it can be based on the duration, which you work around in other systems to get the based on duration. And the most interesting and exciting part to get report distance Gantt chart. And this data which was on Excel for progress, now all these reports coming from these values. And this is different way of representing the work groups. Here we see that there are two crews. One is coming from left part, one is coming from the right side to complete the works. And clearing and grouping, it is the same works, and planned percentage, in this case 34%, in this dashboard it was giving the same, and the progress part 27%. But on the right side there is no time. It is not showing the based on time. For quick analyzing, it is just showing where the works are completed. When there is new progress, it is painting itself automatically, so you don't need to paint. And here, these are the tasks. When you go to details of this task, you can see the progress and when it is completed, where it is completed. But in this view, just in the group, in the linear project, maximum you have 15 type of main works, 20 maximum you have the main works. So this list giving you information, work types, and the works where they completed. This is very easy to analyze and understand where is the work going. The same progress, actually it was representing the work on this blue right-of-way area, 100-kilometer project in this case. And the intersections, this is view on the Google Earth, and we have the schedule on Google Earth in a free tool. You can create your right-of-way. This is, and you can create your intersection points, and we can import our schedule. We have software module of the Tilos called Tilos Progress Map, and getting the schedule into here, and from the schedule we can define which activity types we are going to represent. For example, in this previous view, just we had the 3-4 activities, main activities, and we can just monitor these things. Now this thin line showing that the work types, but actually these works are ongoing on this blue area. To be able to represent them, just we give some distance between them. When we look at our period based on the time simulation, it is showing the distance area. So in the certain period, we can see that where the works are going to finish. And there are two modes. One is the planned simulation, one is the actual simulation. So you can have a simulation saying that till the end of the 2015, where the works are going to complete it. So here it is going to show where the works are going to finish. And there is legend as well to understand which color represents to which information. This area showing that where the works needs to complete it, and this is showing based on the time where the works are going to complete it. When we have the baseline, I will show in a moment as well. We can integrate the Tilos. We can import the values directly from Excel, from clipboard, copying and importing into system. Or there is another, if we are going to import like actual resources, actual progress based on distance. So we can use the Excel Exchange add-on and we can import just in one click, import into Tilos. And the Tilos is integrated with other systems like Microsoft Project, Asta Power Project, Primavera, and in the middle there is the XML. So system is settled based on the XML, so we can integrate with your other systems such as financial systems, SAP and other systems. We can use XML format in the middle, and this can be custom based but direct integration with these systems. From the progress point, if you are saying that you are already progressing in Primavera and you would like to import the progress into Tilos, we can only consider the percentage from Primavera. We cannot bring the distance values from Primavera, and so we recommend you to use the distance-based progress values from the Tilos. Inside the Tilos you can put the progress, and these values will be converted into percentage, so you can import back to Primavera. So for the progress point you can go back from Tilos part to Primavera part. It is much better. Or you can make the distance-based progress separately in Tilos for controlling your works. You can use the Tilos at any stage, as we said, at pre-design, planning, procurement, execution stage. Now we are interested more. You can type your questions, and just 20 minutes completed. I have another 20 minutes. I'm going to present first the progress types in the Tilos. And now when we look at our Tilos version 8, you are familiar with the system, and when you are looking the overall, actually you know what is the time, what is the distance. In this case, on the left part we have the views. So these views helping us to navigate our project, and easily we can create the multiple views to focus specific part of the project, or combine the multiple projects, or combining the multiple sub-projects. So these views helping us to go for predefined views. In this case, in this time distance, we can combine the multiple views. Now I am going to explain them. On the left part, now I have here 6 activities. They are all represented based on time on the left part and based on distance. And these are the kilometers where I am going to work. On the right side, I have a Gantt chart. It is integrated with the left part, and these are the activity names which I'm going to progress them, and the baseline, when I get the baseline and actual percentage going to show. On the top we have distance-based Gantt chart. What means the distance-based Gantt chart? And there is no time, just when we consider this part, saying that these are the activities. For example, this one, when I change to this activity, please see that it is changing on the distance as well. So these are combination of the 3 tasks, 3 different views. Here the values coming from this distance Gantt chart, the same activities. It is going to show the meters, how many meters are going to complete it, and other performance. And here the blue line represents our data date, and the white area, it is the working days. This area in light brown color, it is showing that these are non-working, like weekends. If you would like, we can hide them, and we can show the activities continuously moving. So we can show also calendars or remove the calendar values. To getting a baseline, it is under Tools, Baseline Manager. We can get baseline from here. And there is one question: can we use the critical chain methodology using the Tilos? Yes. How we can use? we have in Tilos, when we have the activity, and let's say that without any template, we have the activity, and we can keep this activity type. Let me show firstly in a better view. For example, at this area, we can keep this task for contingency at the end of the project or at the end of some main activities for the all distance areas or for the specific areas. We can keep this, and we have option for the task type. It is called as a buffer task. This is concept to provide the critical chain. Instead of putting contingency periods to each task, we can put these values to end of the task, so it will consume from here. Initially, you can say you have 1 month for this buffer task, and later when you link this task with the other tasks, when it is going to finish, it is consuming from this buffer task. So this is another concept. If you would like, in the next presentations we can put more detailed values, or we can present for the interested attendees. So it is supporting critical chain as well. Okay, and now for the baselining, you can simply reach for the baseline creation from the distance Gantt chart, or we can simply focus. For example, we can simply select the activity and can say that baseline, just we can create a new baseline, or we can simply go to tools, baseline manager, and create the new baseline. On the top we have the baseline. We can say that initial baseline. Here it is created, and it is creating the all activities. We have the multiple sub projects, so it is showing that all tasks from there. We could simply select one sub project and we could create the baseline from there as well. And here it is showing that how many baselines I'm going to now. It is listing the baselines, and the report date, it is affecting this blue line. Now it is representing this data date. Okay. At the background, now it is showing the baseline values. I can simply switch off the baseline tasks. I can show the data date, this blue line, and display the progress. And now when I hear the idea to showing the different type of works, and now it is showing that person simple. How we define it is the type of works person simple. This is used. We are able to put only the progress, like how much person, like 100% we have completed. It is just completing. It doesn't consider the works for the, let's say that now 50% is completed. It doesn't consider the distance where you started. It is not asking, and it is the way how we are able to integrate with the Primavera, for example, because you just put the values when it started, when it finished. On the Gantt chart part, we can also show these values, and for the users of the Tilos, you can simply go to views, like displaying the progress, and now it is showing the progress. Like in Primavera way, on the Gantt chart also you can get this progress based on time. You don't consider where the works are completed. And this is called as a person simple. And we have also option, for example, for this task, quantity simple. What is doing that? And this is not quantity of the resource, this is quantity of the task. So in Tilos we have the option putting the quantities without resource assignment. So this is good, not going to for complex. From the below quantities items, we can just put our quantities. We can get system to calculate the duration, productivity rates, and so on. So quantity is coming from the task quantity, we call it, and the progress method, it is quantity simple. In this case, we have just option to putting the quantity completed, and 300 quantity is completed now, and this is converted to a percentage itself. In this case, we have also progress methods, task steps, like in Primavera way, we can define the steps saying that, for example, it is good for procurement works or design works. You can say that preparing drawings, for example, this is the affecting, let's say, 70%, and this is the like 30%, this is the step. So when you complete the one step, saying that you complete this step 100%, it is going to now progress 70% of your works. When we look at the percentage now, it is going to look at the 70% of the works. So this is task steps, like in Primavera way, and you can switch, or you can say that it was progress, but in this step you just completed the 50%. It will directly calculate 35% in the system. So this is the good for steps, and if you don't want to go complicated, just selecting and it is going to complete. These are the things, and we have the most important one which we are using the Tilos. Sorry, this is the percent split, and in this case when we reschedule, percentage is going to split it, remaining part will be split for your reschedule your works. You can change the works. For example, when we put the progress saying that, for example, 30% work, it is completed, it is still progress percentage, but now please see that it is now splitting the task. It is not proceeding the same task, and you can work on this task after splitting. You can change the durations, you can change the directions, and this is the percentage, but it is splitting the task. When you have the waiting time, for example, you can work, for example, you work in this year in this part, but winter time came and you are going to work in the next springtime. You can just progress, and splitting part you can push for the related dates. Okay, here the most important part which I am going to show, it is the distance split. Distance split, actually it is giving us actual start date, actual end date option, as well as the distances from where to where works are completed. In the plan it was from 7035 till the 7451, and we can say that it is started at this, it didn't start at this point, it started 7200, for example, and now it is completed, for example, 7400. And now when I put to this progress with actual start, actual finish, we can put this, we can say interruption of work, there will not be progress. And now please see that the works were completed. It is giving us information, so we will know exactly where the works completed, and the remaining parts also are going to complete it. Here this task, it is representing the quantity split, and in this case we are able to put from where to where the works are completed, and from when to when is completed, and with which quantity. So this is good for all aspects from your view, and the distance completed, and from when to when, and also from where to where. When you would like to check the information, what was the progress, you can exactly see that these are the progress records in the system. You can export from here to Excel. For example, you can copy these values and put into your Excel, or you can direct export from the system onto Excel. This is as a Excel report. This comes through the add-on or into simple Excel charts. And on the right side we can see now, I didn't reschedule, in a moment I'm going to reschedule, and the baseline actuals. Here it is showing all of them converted to percentage. Even I put the progress based on the time and based on the distance. Now it is showing that the works which is completed here, and on the top we have also option to display the works where the works completed in simple view. These are just showing from beginning to here, because we put the percentage, it needs to progress from the starting point. But this task is important. This is the distance split one, showing that where the work is completed in a correct way. And there are questions for the metro rail projects. Yes, in Middle East, in Europe, there are too many ongoing metro projects, elevated metro projects, underground metro projects. We have light rail projects, which is designed in the Tilos, and now for the execution stage it is used as well. I can give you these samples. Okay, when I reschedule, we have the scheduling options. If you are Tilos user and saying that, and it is not going after I reschedule, it is not moved after the data date and so on. These are the options in the system, and when we reschedule, we will see that uncompleted part is pushed after the data date, and uncompleted parts all pushed. And now we can see on the Gantt chart, for example, and on the distance Gantt chart, we can see as well, like where the works complete. Here there is no time. It doesn't consider where the works complete, only showing that. Okay, and this was the methods, and you need to define the methods when you start to work at the beginning. And another one I'm going to show with a little bit complex project. During the trainings, actually, we analyze these things, and this project now, it is 4-kilometer project with the intersections, with the linear tasks, with the tasks which is reading the quantity from the site and getting the duration calculation. So it is showing with the as a curve view, and structural works, it is exactly happening at the certain distance, and to be able to display them in a better way, we have rectangle formats. And when we get the progress, before then we need to get the baseline, like always, getting the baseline, initial baseline in this project. And now at the background it is showing the baselines, and now I am going to display removal for the baseline tasks. When we put the progress, now simply I am going to put progress. You can simply press F11 and it will put putting the progress as well. It was planned from the 2700. I'm going to say it's completed till the 1900 for this distance. And for the milestone, just we can say that milestone is started. And for the other tasks, I can see that was there any plans. No, and now I can reschedule the works. And now it is not pushed after the data date. So my aim was just to pushing after the data date, moving the not completed tasks. So you can select now uncompleted part. It is just pushed considering the links. Some users saying that in Primavera we get the dates and we are trying to do these things in Excel, drawing these things, but when you have the changes in the system, as you see, when you put the progress, it is all pushed, and you can see now your handover date. So it is all connected to each other. For the next progress date, so I am doing a little bit more complicated. In the baseline manager, I am going to change after the 2 weeks, like saying that 31st of this, and now data date is going to change now, as we see here, and now we can progress again for this task, saying that this time it is going to work from 1900. It is just completed till the 600. It is more progress now. It is a little bit faster than the previous work, so it is now highlighted here. And I could say also the direction, and it didn't come from that point. For example, after put the progress, I can remove it. I can say that now going to be progressed, but the direction was from 600 to 1900, and there was, for example, you didn't have access from this site, and now you are showing the works. And you can put the progress for the quantity base as well, saying that you completed the works with the total quantity 3000, for example. You put the distances as well as the quantities. It is now progress for this part. For the structural works, we can say that this is percent split, and we are going to put now saying that 20% of the works completed. So these are at the beginning of the project, it is all defined. Now when I am going to put the other things, for example, for the structural works, you can say that for example, station works and putting the percentage based progress, for example 30% for this case. And now when you reschedule your works, it is just pushing after the data date, and now you see that it is all pushed, and here we can see all the progress. But monitoring from this view, it can be hard, so we have progress monitoring view, and we can now combine the views. Here we have the distance, only the distance, and showing that where the works completed. Here showing that only the topsoil stripping, for example, works is completed. You can go more details on the progress part, you can show them. So the value now, you may find little bit hard for this case, like you have one by one you are putting the progress, and on time distance you are displaying on this way. We can collect the progress from the site, and let's say that we have another complex project and with the too many activities. For the cost and resource also I am going to show after this thing. And now saying that we have the many activities and we have monitoring view for the activities. Here we see that for each crew we created the specific view. For example, this is one type of work, this is another type of work on this view. Before the baseline, this is another distance Gantt chart which is showing that on PowerPoint which I was showing. And now looking to our overview, getting the baseline, and now I have the baseline tasks as well. At the background it is showing, and I have the Excel list, all the progress values. Now I can put the progress for this values, and I can see now the data date. It is showing in this blue color. Data date is here, and now I can simply put the progress in Excel. These are the activity groups for the first progress period and second progress period. We can all put to these things. We can put also comment. For example, it was rainy time. Progress reported by, I can define who is reporting this. And then I can simply copy and import into Tilos, or using the Excel Exchange, I can use just to import option. It will import all Excel and update this progress. Now simply putting based on my profile, predefined profiles, to helping easy to put the progress now. And now I see that here the areas, this is called micro progress. This is reported but it is not accepted. So there are two steps, and one is the bringing the progress, importing the progress, or directly inputting into Tilos. The second stage is the accepting the progress. For example, selecting this task, saying that, let's say that for this task micro progress part, just to select the filter, sorry, it was, let's say that only clearing and grouping. Now it is more simple view, even with the too many activities, and this part is reported. If you are saying that, okay, you are accepting that this one evaluated, and you can now evaluate this record, for example, saying that also comment is coming, it is rainy, it is evaluated, you have option not to evaluate. And here you see that this part, you can collect the progress in Excel daily, for example, but your updates you can update weekly. So end of the week you can just look at the overall. When you go to site and checking if these are the completed, you can say all of them completed in this case. For example, let's say that this part, just saying that it is going to all completed, and if there is the conflicts also it is giving us the conflict, and in the more views micro progress list, and there are the conflicts, and it is saying that the tasks, these ones are not found, for example, because of maybe ID. And let's analyze the other one. Let me select the other, this one, and there is no problem. I can also, it is giving us because of the A, probably I didn't copy well this one, and it didn't recognize the task. Okay, and looking at this task, there is no conflict, for example, and this part is completed, but baseline, you see the baseline here, and this part is just completed. I can say that evaluate all the works now, and now it is all this black highlighted, it is showing where the works are completed. So it is more easy to import the progress and showing in this view on predefined views, saying that, for example, the progress here, just which I accepted part, I can even go to more micro progress on the task, and I can simply progress the other values as well. And now, as you see here, in the predefined previews, I can display here, and I can get the values, for example, here updating. What was the planned work rate and what is the remaining part, and it is all showing the values. For example, looking at this view, progress, length, let's say this is in this view, and the values coming from the updated schedule. From here, we can reach our progress map. We can import these values onto our progress map, combining with our own right-of way. And we can prepare, we can base our project based on templates as well. In this project, one sample, and this is looking now simulation and actual progress. We have two options, and the paths, it is like on Google Earth. You can also combine your multiple lines, multiple projects in this part, place marks and schedule part, which we can import from the Tilos. When you are importing, there is the schedule data and KMZ data Google Earth file and the micro progress file, which we can import into this system. And from here, for example, when we have a simulation, the baseline, it is going to show in the orange color. Thin line, it is going where the works are planned. This highlighted part is going to show where the works in the plan going to complete it. And these are all the views, and we can also show the works in the structural works. We don't have to show always linear works, structural works it will give us. And from here, and I can move this view to Google Earth. Now it will give this progress on Google Earth. So I will have a simulation. I can stop the simulation. I can save this view and send in the email attachment. This is the advantage. So we combine everything. If you have a master project in Primavera already, we can import into Tilos. We can detail, and from there, Tilos progress map, you can exactly see now. These are the baseline now. At the background, the duration is just moving. We see now, and when the values are changed, the values are changing here as well. And now it is moving based on the time. And here, the areas, it is showing the structural works is completed. Here in this area, it is showing that, for example, station works, many activities at this area, it is showing that it is all completed with 100%. And the works, the orange color always baseline, thin lines, the activity types it is showing. For the overall project, actually, we can also show the overall project information. Like here we have the summary. Let me show this summary information. And we can get the same this view on the Google Earth as well. Okay, these are the short representation, and during the trainings it is detailed. So when you have questions, you can ask, and we will be uploading this record. We record also the webinar on our web page. There are questions for the actual resources. Actual resources should be separated than our progress on the task. Task progress and the resource progress is separated in Tilos. Planned allocations planned, this is for resource and cost planning. Allocations actual, it is for resource and cost progressing. So you need to do this separately. Resource progress, it should be separated than the task progress. And now you can import these values from Excel. How many machines are used, how many man hours is consumed on the site, we can all use, or in the system we can simply put that, for example, saying that labor using which machine you can select here, grader and machines you can select from here, and you can select your materials as well. Okay, and here we have option to put the dates, and it is just a point. It is giving you point and how many this machine you use in the system, and you need to put, for example, used it is 2, and you can get this effort calculation and so on, and with the date. So this can be displayed on the histograms, and we can analyze these things on the histogram. There were more things to mention, like analyzing the remaining duration of the task and calculating the expected end date based on your current productivity rate. And you can show whatever you have here in the histograms. You can show all values from the baseline as well. And here you have the allocations planned. For example, you can bring the reports from the baselines, and for example, you can show the all values from there. Okay. Thanks again for your time. You can find the webinar record on the fndSite.com and free webinars tab. You can find them, and you can now watch also the other webinars, and on our LinkedIn group, Tilos Time Location group, you can also follow the next webinars and the most important topics, and you can post your questions as well. Thank you for your time again. Have a nice day.